What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and in this video we are talking about ZBCN, Zebec today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into this. Okay, here we are. It's the 25th day of September, and man, you have quite the bearish week. This is not a friendly candle, right? That's a friendly candle there. This is not a friendly candle to have. The last time you had a candle like this, I mean, it was probably up here, actually, really. And from the weekly close to the low, you dropped 31%. The time before that, you had a candle like this over here, you dropped 35% the next week. That's not friendly at all. Imagine here, first off, I want to get it clear. I don't think ZBCN drops 30% from here. But just imagine you did. Where would that take you? That would take you down all the way to 0.00264. Imagine the level of capitulation there would be. I know there's a lot of you out there who are very bullish on ZBCN. I'm one of them. I definitely am bullish on ZBCN. You want to see it rip through the roof. But trust when I tell you, the most bullish thing that could happen for this thing right now would actually be a drop down here. Now, we're having fun, or maybe I'm having fun. Maybe some people are having fun hearing that. I don't think we're going that low. I really don't think that we're going that low. In fact, I just made a video talking about the average altcoin and the expectations there between now and maybe the end of next week or the following week. I expect the average altcoin to drop anything from about 10 to 15%, probably closer to that 15% area, okay? 10 to 15%. ZBCN, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but ZBCN is definitely one of those average altcoins. It's actually an above average altcoin as far as performance goes, but it's still just another altcoin in the ecosystem. It's an average coin. It's special, just like the rest of them are, right? All I'm trying to say here is that a 10 to 15% drop is projected. The average altcoin this week, I want to say, is down 6%. You're only down 3%, which is nice, but you're probably only down a little bit less because you had that massive pump in the middle of the week. The average altcoin right now is down about 3%. You're down about just under 3%. So you're keeping up with the average altcoin. You're just doing a little bit better, right? That's a fact. With the idea that the average altcoin does drop 10 to 15%, and with the idea that the golden ratio is here at about 0.0033 to 0.00309, ZBCN from here could very well drop all the way down to about that level, 0.0033 to 0.0039 or 309, sorry. 10 to 15% drop is projected for the average altcoin between now and the next couple of weeks. That level lines up very well with the golden ratio zone here from our most discernible low to high. And of course, we're not taking the fake out high, we're taking the high of the move here. Even if you took the high of the fake out, cool, it's still in the golden ratio. But I think it makes a lot of sense that we will go down there. Now, in my opinion, looking at this whole consolidation phase the way that we did it, it doesn't make sense that we'd be moving lower. I would think that we would have moved higher, but you did, you tried, and you rejected. You found resistance at the 236, so lower you go, right? That's that essentially. 0.5 to the 236 down to the golden ratio. It's a volatile kind of schematic for the Fibonacci sequence here, but it does happen. It does happen, actually. We've seen it happen a lot. We've actually been calling this out over the months, that going from the 0.5 to the 236 has been something that a lot of cryptos have been doing, whether it's for support and then you find resistance there, or you find resistance at the 0.5 and then you find support at the 236, whatever it is. But let's get into the short-term stuff, okay? Let me stop confusing anybody who might be confused. All in all, clearly, I think it's obvious this is bearish, and how wonderful of a sell the news event this was. They really gave it to you. They handed it to you on a silver plate, right? Here was ZBCN down here. Even if you didn't have an opportunity to buy here, but you were holding some ZBCN, once the news came out that that All Unity was their partner that they made, once the institutional news came out, that was a clear sell the news event, right? They said massive institutional news in the next 24 hours, and then it was All Unity. Which that's not massive. I mean, it is massive. It's going to provide growth for this ecosystem as time goes on, and it's just a stepping stone along the path of greatness. But it's not like BlackRock or Morgan Stanley or J.P. Morgan, or I guess it's not like the Bank of America, or Jerome Powell is starting a business where he endorses ZBCN. Like, it's not that big. And with that, and even if it was, we have a way of building things out to be larger than life. So whenever the good news comes out, it's almost always a sell the news event. So they gave it to you on a silver platter. And what I'm saying here, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, what I'm saying here is it's not a good time to sell. What I'm saying here is if you were thinking about selling at all, they gave it to you. the ZBCN people, the Zebec network, the Zebec HQ, they gave it to you. You want a chance to get out? There it was. If you're looking back and you're like, damn, I could have had, let's pretend you didn't sell the top because nobody's perfect, but let's say you sold here and then you're at the current price. Damn, I could have avoided a 16% loss from this price here. Not even at the top, let alone if it was higher. That would have been a 21% loss at this point over the past couple of days. If you're thinking that, just say, darn it, missed my chance, that's okay, because this is a terrible time to sell. If you're hearing me say that and you're like, but didn't you just say that this thing's going to drop 15%? Yes, it is. I still believe it's going to drop 15%. I still think it's a terrible time to sell. Can anybody answer as to why I think it's a terrible time to sell? Use your brains, use your eyes, tell me right now what's clear about this. If we look at the high from August, where are we relative to this box that the price action has been in since this high? We're at the low points. The expression is not sell low, buy high. If you sell here, you are selling the low. Even if the projected low is here, projected is not promised. What if tomorrow some other good news comes out and we rip, right? We had all the reasons to believe that we'd go lower here, but then that fundamental news came out and we just ripped. You never want to sell the lows, ever. The time to sell is not now. The time to hold, bite down, and just wait for this to be over is now, and you buy the dip. That's what you do. And then whenever it comes back up, we sing Kumbaya, we forget about this little 20% drop, whatever. Overall, it's not going to be a big deal, okay? All in all, though, to sum up everything that I've said in the last, I don't know how many minutes now, yeah, we're probably going lower. We're probably going to see a 10 to 15% drop, probably closer to that 15% mark if I had to guess, 12% or more. That would be my guess. We line up this low to high, golden ratios right there. We line up this low to high here. We're not going to take the fake out high. Your 1272, your 1414, even your golden ratio, they're all very close in proximity to this target area. It just makes so much sense. We take this low to high, I wonder. The 1886200 area is in there. And if I delete these fibs, hold on, let's delete this fib here so it's a little less noisy. The golden ratio would be the next target, but at this point, I would think you go lower. There's a lot of logic to be made out of that 0032, 0031 area being support. We're at 00378 right now, so I think a little bit lower makes sense, okay? 4 hour time frame, 1 hour time frame, let's do that real quick. Bearish, clearly bearish, right? Why is it bearish, C-Zar? Well, you're living below the 50. You're not getting overbought, but you are hitting the oversold area, rejecting the same area you rejected before. Bearish, right? Higher highs in the RSI. I was going to say lower highs in the price, but I guess it's actually about the same. Still bearish. Stochastics rejecting the overbought zone. Instead of living in the overbought zone, you're living in the oversold zone and rejecting the overbought zone. Bearish. MACD is bearish, but it doesn't really matter. It's on the 1 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame here. Stochastics are bearish. RSI is bearish. MACD is bearish. They're all bearish. Very, very much so. Yeah. This is a one-off. It was a pump and dump. And that's okay. Right, but it's a pump and dump. Looks like we want to go lower. Stochastics are bearish on the daily. The RSI is neutral, but neutral with bearish stochastics might imply bearishness. And I suppose you are kind of bearish too. And your MACD rejecting the zero, that's not friendly, so bearish. Bearish on 2 indicators, neutral on 1. That makes me think lower is where we're going to go. Lower is the goer. We'll see down at about 0.0033 to 0.0031, somewhere in that zone. I got nothing else for you guys. I really do believe that Zebec is going to come back out on top. Remember, think about it like this, okay? Here, right now, here, okay? The fundamentals are stronger now than they were back here, right? The price is higher. We've dropped down. The fundamentals are stronger now than they were back here. They're stronger now than they were here. They're stronger now than they were here. We are stronger fundamentally than we ever have been. So any dip from here is for buying. It's just for buying because these strengthenings in fundamentals are only going to allow for the price to grow higher. When we grow higher, do I need to say it? Do I need to say where we're going to go? You guys know by this point in time, right? You could recite it with me. 4.5 cents to really probably 3 cents or more is what I would think, but 2 cents, 2.5 cents, somewhere in this kind of area. And we're expected to hit that by the end of October. If not the end of October, maybe sometime in early November, but we're going to be up in that box very, very soon. We're going to be all up in that box, not just by the end of the year, but by the end of October, if not November. I would expect we are at 2 cents or more by the end of October. Going into the end of the year, we should be reaching, I would think that we'd be reaching for 10 cents or more, but time will tell. And here we are right now, not even at, I mean, we're almost at a third of a penny right now. So we got a lot of growth to go in a very short amount of time. Do not get phased by any kind of bearishness here. Remember where you are, right? You're in a very, very bullish phase of consolidation here overall. I don't care if you break out to the downside. You might not, you probably don't, but I don't care what you do. You're in a bullish phase of consolidation overall. You're not going to see this thing tank all the way back down. Anything can happen, but I just very much doubt it. Anyways, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves, all right? Bye-bye.